Hi everyone, Tammy here. Welcome to my channel. Today we have another episode of the Peace Craft Love podcast, and I'm here with my sister Terry from Tapping Flamingo. She has a YouTube channel as well. She has a lot of wonderful videos about jewelry making in particular, but she is a craftaholic like me. And today's video is all themed around crafts we love. Terry, what crafts do you love?
I like a lot of crafts, but I particularly like crafts that deal with seashells or ocean type theme. And the first thing I want to show you is something that I made from all things from the sea. So I have this mobile here.
Oh, neato.
From seashells. And they're actually, a lot of them are shell fragments.
They're pretty though. I like the colors.
I know. I think they're just as pretty as, you know, the whole shells. And I do make seashell fragment necklaces, but I made this to hang, and this is from a palm tree from my parents' backyard.
Oh, really?
So I drilled little holes, wired all these shells, and I've got some crystals in here.
Oh, that's the sparkly? Yeah.
That's the sparkly. And then just hung them with hemp. And then I crocheted, another thing I like to do, some hemp and just wrapped it around and hung these shells. And I'm trying to figure out where to hang it. I've actually had it in our sunroom, but we haven't really done anything with our sunroom yet as far as decorating it. So it was just there. Yeah, I would not hang this outside because I think it would be okay, but I think the wire would, you know, it kind of tarnish and weather, and I don't want this to weather. Sometimes you want things to weather, but I don't really
sometimes you want a patina, but you don't want that to patina.
I don't want a patina for this one, so I'm trying to figure out where to hang it, but I love it.
Yeah, that's very cool looking. Yeah, I mean, I could see that being outside or inside.
Right.
Yeah, most definitely, huh. All right, so well, one of my favorite crafts is kind of related to that. It's also crochet. And as an example, this is a hat I made not too long ago. It is a beanie hat with a, I don't know if you can really see it, but the trim of this is a granny square hat, or a granny square on the hat. And I got this, this is a book that I got the pattern from. I think it's called Granny Square Beanie or something like that. But it's in this particular book, Crochet Boutique Hats. And this book actually has quite a few hats in here I like. I think I made this one as well. One of these on the cover. Maybe it was this one in the center. But I've had good luck with this. And crochet is just one of those crafts that just speaks to me. It's intuitive, I guess you could say. I learned to crochet when I was about 8 years old after making a pot holder at the library. I believe my mom actually tried to teach me quite a few times, and I think she actually did teach me how to crochet. But then when I went to the library that day and I sat there with a whole bunch of other little kids, some woman started teaching us how to crochet a pot holder. Somehow just the light went off, and ever since then it's just been something that I just gravitate to. It's a comfort. It's a kind of comfort kind of craft for me, and this particular hat, I also use some Darn Good yarn from my Darn Good yarn subscription. So it's a soft silk kind of yarn. It's made from recycled silk. So yeah, crochet is one of my crafts that I love. And showing off this hat. It's getting cool here now in Florida, so I can actually wear it a little bit.
Was it getting 70 degrees down in South Florida?
Yeah, it's like 69.
Woo!
Time to pull out the cold, the knitwear.
The sweaters and hats.
I'll tell you about it. For our next section, we call Here's the Skinny, and it's works in progress. And again, we have decided to pick projects that we're working on related to crafts that we love. So Terry, what's your Here's the Skinny?
All right. Well, I have two loves for this one. I love to crochet, and I love my granddaughters. Right now, I have 3.5 granddaughters. And then I have another grand something, we don't know yet, on the way. So for them, I've mentioned this before, I'm making nativity, and I'm working on the Wiseman now.
Those are cute.
Yeah, I just
are
gotta
those
get
little crowns on their heads?
Yep, they're the head coverings with the little crowns. So I'm trying to figure out though, I want to do kind of Mardi Gras colors,
Mm-hmm.
the purple, the gold, and the green. So
Yes.
I've got these two done. So now the third one, I'm trying to figure out how I want to configure those colors. Like, do I want to do him all gold and then highlight with one of these, or I don't know.
Right.
So I'm trying
or
to
mix,
figure out what I want to do.
like have
I
the
want to
top
mix the three
purple and
colors.
green. Yeah.
Right. I would like to mix the three colors in the third wise man. And I also got to get their little frankincense golden myrrh made up.
They're cute.
And
You're doing really well with that. You've got a lot of those made now, don't you?
I do. I've got quite a few of them made. And I'm making 3 sets. I'm not going to make one for each individual grandchild. I'm going to do it for the family.
Oh,
And
okay.
so
There you go.
my 4 kids are married with kids.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, there's plenty for them to play with together. I mean, there's like a dozen pieces, right? So
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, it's like my granddaughter that's locally. I still have. I have a nativity set that's little rubber duckies, and then I have her wooden nativity set that she played with through the holidays. I just left them out. She plays with them all the time. So
oh yeah,
they
cute.
like them.
That's super cute. All right, so my here's the skinny related to a craft that I love, is probably no big surprise, is sewing. I'm back into sewing after I had a bit of a hiatus for a few years because I was just like, I wasn't really sure what I wanted to sew, and dolls brought me back into sewing big time. So I have some of this really pretty Jane Austen fabric that I was gifted by my sister. And I actually have some other Jane Austen fabrics that I also purchased myself. And so I have been making doll dresses, and I have more that are in the works. I decided, in fact, there was some had these little cute little polka dots. So these are the tops. And then I'm going to use some of this pink fabric as the bottom.
Oh, yeah.
Like this especially I thought would look really cute. So for Valentine's-ish type romance related, I'm going crazy and making a bunch of little Blythe doll dresses using my Jane Austen fabric. So keep an eye out. There's quite a few. I'll have a couple of videos actually in the works related to making Blythe doll dresses with my Jane Austen fabric. So keep a lookout for that on my YouTube channel. But yes, I'm in the throes of that. But sewing is something that I'm very glad I learned how to do. My mother taught me the basics of it. I did a little bit of it in 4-H as well. And then finally, when I was in college, I had a college roommate who was she's still alive. I had a college roommate who is an amazing seamstress, and her mother, in fact, was a home ec teacher. So I never took home ec. I regret that I never did, but I never took home ec. But my mother gave me the basics of sewing, and then she helped me sort of polish what I knew how to do already. I had the basics down, but it wasn't until I really spent time with her where she helped me really understand how to read a pattern and do the finishes. As far as, our mother, she had 3 girls to sew for. And back when my mother was sewing, it was much less expensive for people to sew and make clothing than to purchase it. Store-bought clothing back then was very expensive. And so she had to make a lot of stuff so we could have clothes, right? So she was more of a utilitarian type of seamstress versus somebody like me who I just do it as a hobby, right? So anyway, so sewing is here's the skinny craft that I love.
Just add a little something about home ec.
Uh-huh.
I took 2 home ec classes, one in high school, one in college. It made me hate sewing.
Really?
Yes. And it was because of stuff like you have to iron the pattern. Then you have
really?
to pin them together and try them on you. And yeah, and it's like, oh, I just want to get this done. And then like one of the projects in college was a skirt. And, you mentioned that our mom sewed a lot. And I knew what size I wore in a pattern.
Hmm.
And this is when I was like 100 pounds.
Yeah.
And he kept saying, well, with your measurements, you would wear a size 8. And I'm like, no, it will be too big for me. I knew that I wore a size 3
Uh-huh.
in patterns, you know, because they at that time they tend to run big. I don't know what they do now. They're probably
Right. Yeah,
changed.
they were way off back then. Yeah, they were
Yeah,
odd. They were
but
odd.
anyway, so I made the skirt and it was way too big for me. So I couldn't even wear it.
Oh
But
shoot.
I gave it to mom, who's, you know, she's 4 inches taller than me. So of
Yeah,
course,
she's much taller than you are, right? Funny.
so of course
Well,
it
somebody
fit.
got to wear it at least. But yeah, that
Somebody got to wear it, but
yeah,
I was
I could see how that would be frustrating. I never had, I mean, I did also take some tailoring classes from a adult education facility years ago in Orlando. But again, it was more of a like, it wasn't, I wasn't getting graded, you know what I mean? It was
right.
a recreational kind of thing. And so, but so I could see how that would be frustrating. You know, it's a very different dynamic to have
Yes.
a class, you know,
Yes.
like that where
And
you
I
have
had
to
a
grade.
friend that kind of like how you are, who showed, you know, I had the basics for mom and then she helped me move on. And
Yeah.
I like to sew.
Yeah.
Not as much as you do, but I do like to sew.
So our final section is called Far Out, and it's related to crafts that we're going to do in the future. And of course, again, our theme for this podcast is crafts that we love. So Terry, what's a craft that you love that you're going to do in the future?
All right. So I've already mentioned that I love to crochet, and everybody knows that I love to make jewelry. So I am combining the two to make a wire crocheted beaded necklace. Now, I did a video a while back, like years ago. In fact, when I watch it, I just want to laugh. So if you want some entertainment and to laugh at me, we'll put a link to the video. It's actually been viewed quite often, but it was a tutorial on how to make this wire crocheted necklace. And I am wanting to redo that video and make another one of these.
That's a good idea.
That is in the future, is to redo that hilarious, really poor tutorial video.
Isn't it funny when you look back at your old videos? I mean,
oh my gosh.
I mean, and I see people now doing things that I did that I want to warn them about. Like, for example, having your videos, what is it, portrait instead of landscape? Like, people, you can't have a video like this unless it's on Instagram.
Right. Well, unless you're doing a short. If you're doing a YouTube
and yes,
short.
you're doing a short, you're supposed to do that, right? But to have all of them like that, like a 5-minute video, no. So, but we've all done that. We've all been there. So, you know.
Well, it's like my first videos, I have flamingos and I would go, this is Terry Jeanette with the tapping flamingo. You know, it was corny. I'm like, whose idea was that? But you know what? I have grown from it. I'm not going to take it down because I can look back and see my growth. And you know what? A few years from now, I'll be looking at these going, oh, what was she thinking?
What were they thinking with using Zoom, idiots?
Oh.
All right. So in the future, of course, I'm still like totally obsessed with my smart doll.
And she's pretty.
I love her so much. And I want another one so bad. I'm trying to wait though. Culture Japan, which is the company that puts out the smart dolls, they have some new releases supposedly planned. We're hoping in March. And so by then I might be able to afford another one. And they have one in particular that I really want that's called Beyond. And she's cocoa colored skin. And he showed her on Danny Chu, the guy who does Culture Japan, the designer of the doll. He showed her on Instagram with a mohair wig. And I was just like, oh my God, I want her so bad. So one of the things about this doll that has made me start thinking about a craft that I used to love a lot, and I still love it, is jewelry making. And I got to say, I really got burnt out on making jewelry. I did it for so many years as sort of a part-time job with my about.com site. And then I have like about a half dozen books on jewelry making out. And so every time I would make jewelry, it felt like I had to take notes, take step-by-step pictures. It just made everything a job when it came to making jewelry. But I really love jewelry, especially beaded jewelry. That's been my first love. And I do have some pendants I made a while back. These are like little resin. I bought the pieces and I just glued them in. But I was pulling these out the other day and I thought, this is actually, if I put a little chain or maybe used some memory wire ring wire, to use for memory wire, but for rings, I can make a cool little necklace for her.
Got some of that.
Yeah.
I got a whole bunch of memory wire ring stuff.
Yeah, and I think it would make a good necklace. I could just add a couple of beads onto it. And even I was like, some of these other beads here, like these are 4mm square beads. I think they'd be a good size, for a necklace for her. And of course, also my 18-inch dolls, the American Girl size dolls that I had. So yeah, I still really like jewelry making. And this doll in particular has kind of made me start thinking about taking some time and making some jewelry for her and maybe her American Girl doll friends. We'll get a few necklaces too. So
they will be very jealous if you don't make them some.
Yes, yeah. Especially she's the only one I have of the smart dolls. So the other girls are kind of like, hey, you're ignoring us now. Yep, smart girl knows Blythe. Come on. But anyway, so yes, so that's what that is a craft that I still love, and obviously you love it too because that's like your main thing, right?
That's my main thing. Yep.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, let's just wrap it up there. We hope everyone at home is finding time to have some peace, have some crafting, and have some love in their life. We always appreciate a thumbs up, and please make sure you subscribe and hit the bell icon if you haven't already. Do you have anything else to add, Terry?
No, that's it.
All right. Thank you guys. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.